Hey everybody, Gunston on the cover here. Today is December 29th, 2018, and the year is almost over. So this is just a follow-up on this Officer Joseph Dixon of the Millville Police Department here in South Jersey. He holds the record in New Jersey for the most use of force. That's right. And this is a small town and he holds the record. And his boss, the police chief, seems to think it's okay, that he's just a good cop doing his job. So here's a dash cam video of him dealing with a woman that's about 5'4" and weighs about 100 pounds. And watch how he handles her. Okay, let's watch this again in slow motion. I've slowed this way down for everybody. Watch how he does this technique. She's giving a little mild resistance here. Now watch. He's going to grab her. Now watch how he grabs her. He proceeds to put a headlock on her. Grabs her, pulls, and he whips her around. Now watch this. Now watch how he comes down on her. This is what's important to watch. Boom. All his weight lands on her.
Folks, you saw the video. What do you think? Yeah, disgusting, right? That's exactly how I felt. So you look at that video where I slowed it down, you see how he takes her down. He grabs her by the head, puts her in a headlock, gets his arm around her. He doesn't even grab an arm in that. He takes just the head. and he uses his brute force to pull her, whip her over his hip, and then he lands on her, on top of her, weight on her. And in the interim of doing that, that knocks the wind out of you, and it broke her ribs. Now, I watched that and I ask myself, well, he had a partner there. What's the problem? She's acting stupid? I mean, don't these cops know how to do wrist locks? I mean, a woman like that, she's not strong. You could implement a wrist lock on her so easy and just apply a little pressure and she will comply without whipping her over and breaking her neck and breaking her ribs. And he had a partner. Well, the partner could have just come over there and helped, but he didn't. He takes her down and he lands her very violently. And then his partner's standing there. He just like walks over like, yeah, it's just another day at the job, nonchalantly walks over. Instead of going around and say, hey, Joe, you got to take it easy on her, man. She's only 100 pounds. But this cop, this Dixon, he's a representation of what is going on here in America. I mean, day after day, videos are coming out of these officers acting violently. And the story with this cop is he holds the record here in New Jersey right now for the most use of force. And this is not some guy that came out of Newark, New Jersey, where it's got a higher crime rate and people are more likely to act stupid. This is Millville, New Jersey. Population 30,000, I think it was. So, this is a guy that likes to resort to physical activity to resolve things. And let me just say something real quick. I got a friend that works for one of the towns, and when that report came about, showing each town by town, the use of force on each officer and how much use of force they use, and the one in their town, the top of the list, when he saw that website, he went and he looked at it, and the cop at the top of the list, he said to me, words to the effect, he says, when I saw that cop's name there, it did not surprise me. So we all know these cops out there that like to resort to force and violence to get things done. And I always say this is how big guys resolve problems, because they don't got any brains in their head, so they resort to intimidation to get their way. And this cop here is a fine example of it. And the person and persons enabling it is one is his chief of police. When they asked him what they thought about it, oh, he's a good cop doing a good job. So what's the message to that cop? Well, let's just keep on doing it, and hopefully you don't kill anybody and we don't get sued. And I'm sure this cop has probably cost somebody some money. And when they went out, the reporters went out to try to ask his friends and classmates about him. Nobody wanted to talk. So that just, to me, in my mind, just says, yeah, this cop's an asshole. Because if he was a great guy, they'd all go on camera and say, you know what, Officer Dixon's a great guy. He's misunderstood. You know, he's just been in some bad situations. No, nobody wanted to talk because nobody wanted to go on camera and say what a douchebag he is. Because they're probably afraid of him, but I don't know what's to be afraid of. He's not like he's a big guy. He's a tall string bean. He's a string bean cop. That's what he is. He's I don't know how tall he is. She's 5'4", and he kind of towered over her a little bit. But regardless, he's still a pussy. He might be 6'3", but he's still got no balls between his legs. And that's one thing I've learned about bullies. I'm right down here at the high school where I went to, where I knew a few bullies. And one thing I learned about the bullies, whether it was in high school or out in real life, is they don't start this shit with anybody their size or bigger, or anybody they perceive as being tougher than them. They go after people who are less capable of defending themselves against them. Now, in the police situation, they hold two things over us. One is they have this authority over you. They can take your freedom away from you, and then they got the physical thing, because most cops are big. So that's where the big man mentality comes into play, is that, you know, they perpetrate this crap on people they perceive weaker than them. You never see a video of a cop trying to get physical, get tough guy, you know, victimize some biker dude that's like, you know, 6'5" and weighs 270 pounds. You never see it. You know why? Well, one, maybe the bikers aren't causing that problem to get it. But, you know, the thing is that they know that these bikers, they're not punks, and they will fight back. And the cop's going to get hurt. He's going to get his ass kicked. So they don't perpetrate that crap on. They go after smaller people, weaker people. That's just how they are. And if they're in a situation where the person is bigger, they're not going to fight you. They're just going to take the gun out and shoot you, and then they're going to lie in the report and everything else that goes with it. But this cop, he's just a representation of what's going on in America here. And I will say to this, you know, I put this question to, and it's something that another YouTube channel personality brought up, the Advice TV show. I put the link on the Gunnison Undercover Facebook page, and he brought up a very important point, and I'm kind of echoing what he says, but I agree with him 100%, is he asked the question, when in America did it become acceptable for the police to treat women like this? We've all seen the videos. I'm not even going to give you examples because there's a gazillion out there. I'm sure you all have seen one. But I'll give you one that comes to mind. It just immediately came to my mind. It was a California Highway Patrol officer that had that black woman in the middle of the road, and he's sitting on top. He's straddling her on top, and he's just wailing away on her face. I mean, as a human being, when did that become acceptable to do to anybody? And that's the problem going on with police in America, is that they've lost sight. There's too many of them out there. They're not humans anymore. They're not. They're just cold animals. And they, you know, when they get to a certain point, that animal gets released and they become violent. And there's always that standby excuse. Well, you know, if he had just complied, oh, if he had just done this, oh, if she just did that, he wouldn't have had to do that. And you know who says all that crap? Lily Wipes. Now, I know a lot of people out there don't like me saying whites, so I've changed it to Lily Wipes. Okay? These are the people that are enabling these cops to behave like this, okay? Because they're the majority, so just by default, okay? The black community, they got a good understanding what the cops are about. The Spanish community, they know too. The trailer park people, they know too. But this is middle class and this upper middle class, lily whites, who have this perception that the police are here to protect us, and oh, if we didn't have them, we'd have anarchy, and you know, they got a tough job, and this is the crap I hear all the time when I go on Facebook and I respond to something, to some propaganda story on there, and most recently where the cops are asking for your help, and I pose the question, well, where were your cars there during that time when it happened? Were they on the side of the road? Were they moving? Were they patrolling? Were they trolling? You know, spend less time trolling, more time patrolling. Oh my God, it's a shitstorm. All these people attack me, all these lily whites, you know, because the people are yelling at me. I go and I check to see what their profile looks like, and it's always the same thing. You know, it's some picture of a woman with her grandkids. Oh, they're baking cookies. Oh, they're on vacation somewhere. You know, pictures of their doggies. It's the same lily white crap. And these are the people that attack me. And they just so sold on the propaganda bullshit. I mean, I gotta hand it to the police. You really sold them. They bought it hook, line, and sinker, to the point where they're defending you when somebody like me or others come up there and start putting a question to it and present facts. You know, I get yelled at. They call me names. Oh, you know, you should walk in their shoes. They got a tough job, you know. But then I sit there and I throw them the facts, and they just, you know, they just don't get it. And this is what enables it. And you take this woman like here that got whipped over and ribs broken by this thug pussy cop. You know, where are the lily wipes on that? Why aren't they standing up and yelling, hey, you know, this isn't right? She was acting stupid, but she wasn't acting violent, and there's no reason for it. But this is what's enabling it in America. And really the big question is, when did it become acceptable for us to look at that and say it's okay? I don't say it okay, and I know you don't think it's okay either, because that's why you watch my channel. But what happened in America? We've lost it. We've lost it, that it's okay to treat women like that. I mean, I went to school. You don't treat women like, you don't treat girls like that. I don't treat women like that. You know, the only time you use violence on a woman, I mean, if she's got her hands around your throat and she's choking you, you got to do what you got to do to get her off her. But that doesn't mean you beat the crap and break her ribs. You just, you know, you push her off you, or you do something just to stop the situation. But somewhere along the line, we've lost it, or maybe it's always been there and we just never saw it, and technology has now exposed them for what they are. But I think there's a new breed of cops out there now that are just, they're not human. They have no human values about themselves. They just go to work, and they act like this. And in this case, this cop holds a record, and the other cops around him just think it's okay to behave like that. And it's never going to change until we as a community start standing up and demanding the change. And that's the problem. I mean, we are slowly, little by little, demanding the change, because we have social media now that we can expose these assholes. All right, so tell me what you think about it. You saw the video. You saw how he handled that woman. That's just one of the many things that he's done. So let us know what you think about that, and I'll give you his email address in case you want to express yourself to him, and let him know that you're not happy about how he treated that woman in that video. And, you know, and I'll just finish up this. I sure hope that woman sued the police department. I really do hope she sued them, and I hope she gets $10 million for what, you know. Maybe the taxpayer's going to figure it out sooner or later that this is not how we police people, and this is not how we want our police to treat us. And right now, it seems to be the trend that it seems to be, oh, that's just the way it is. Well, I don't accept it. Do you accept it? This is Gunnison Undercover. Like, share, subscribe. Till next time, be well, be safe. Always watch the police. And always question what they do. Just don't accept their propaganda for being truth.